YouTubers.
A mess right here. Oh, Asa likes it. Oh, cut it out. Look at that face. Look at that face. Good morning, YouTubers. This little boy is playing with this kitty, and he got this kitty all soaking wet. And he doesn't even mind, which is really odd, because aren't cats usually like, water? So I'm just getting ready for the morning. I started my period, how many days early? I was supposed to start on Tuesday next week, and today is Friday, and I've started. So that's like Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's like 3 days before. So that puts me at like a 22-day cycle. I thought my body had started figuring itself out after I stopped breastfeeding, but apparently I still have odd cycles. Before I got pregnant, my cycles were definitely like every month, 28 days on the day. I knew that on day 28 I was going to wake up and see blood. And now after having kids, my cycles are completely crazy. Aren't your cycles supposed to go back to normal, or is it normal for your cycles not to go back to normal? That is the question. I'll catch you guys in a little bit. So it's been a little bit since my last recording. Obviously, I'm dressed. I just wanted to quickly answer some questions that one of my viewers commented. Mostly because I don't want to forget to answer these questions specifically, so I wanted to make this video relatively soon. The first question that was asked was, how did your fear of pregnancy influence your developing a phantom pregnancy? If I'm correct in thinking that fear did influence it. I believe you said this in a previous video. I did say that several times in many videos, that fear did influence my phantom pregnancy experience. Excuse me. And I think, how did the fear? The fear itself was pretty intense. When I first started having the thoughts of pregnancy, at that time, I was only 6 months postpartum. So my second son was very young, and my first, somebody's going to start watering really loud right now. My first had just turned 2. So I was very overwhelmed with the thought of being pregnant with 2 very young children. In my 2 previous pregnancies, I was relatively sick. In my second pregnancies, when I was the most sick, I was sick from, I think it was like 5 weeks pregnant all the way to the end. I threw up right the morning that I delivered him. So, I was sick the entire time. The nausea and vomiting never stopped. So, and I delivered him at 38 weeks and 5 days. So, yeah, it was a very long, intense pregnancy. The thought of being that sick and having 2 babies already to take care of was immense. It was extremely intense to think about. So the fear of becoming pregnant again so soon while still breastfeeding, I wanted to continue breastfeeding my second all the way until his first year or longer, and the thoughts of getting pregnant, you can lose your milk supply. So that also was a fear of mine. Not being able to keep up with housework, because being pregnant is very taxing on a woman's body, and you are very tired. So not only was I scared that I would be sick, I was scared that I would be very, very, very fatigued and not able to give my children the opportunities, you know, like going outside and doing things, and because, you know, I'd be so exhausted and so sick. These were just fears that, you know, who's to say that I could get pregnant for the third time possibly in the future and not have any symptoms and not have any nausea or fatigue, because that does happen to women. So these were just fears just because of previous pregnancies. And then I experienced all the general fears that come with adding another child to the family. Like, is there going to be enough room? Are we going to have enough money? Am I going to have enough time? How are my kids going to feel about having another sibling? How is my husband? How is this going to affect our family dynamic? How is this going to affect our relationship with our other kids? How is that going to affect our relationship with each other? How other family members are going to feel about it? You know, what we've always planned, me and my husband, what we've always planned as a, you know, as a family unit, what we wanted, and how, you know, adding this child could change everything, and, you know, just the general fears that come with possibly being pregnant. Because although it's a very joyful thing, pregnancy in itself, and it's all like, when it's, in both my experiences with my sons, both my pregnancies, I was extremely happy. Me and my husband were trying for both of them. And so when seeing that positive pregnancy test was one of the most exciting times of my life. And so I was also scared too, once I started, you know, researching a negative pregnancy test, but still pregnant. Once I started Googling that on the internet, then, you know, cryptic pregnancy came up, and then my fears of possibly being cryptically pregnant and the doctors not being able to confirm it. Then that's when those fears started. But the initial fears of phantom pregnancy stemmed from how it was going to change us as a family, and how it was going to change, you know, my body, and how it was going to affect my health, and how it was going to affect my ability to be a good mother. So that's the answer to the first question. So question number 2. How long would you say someone must believe that they are falsely pregnant for it to be considered a phantom pregnancy? And this is a very good, important, and interesting question. In my personal opinion, and this is not according to any medical journals, medical professionals, or the medical field, or scientific field in general, this is just my opinion. For someone to say that they have actually experienced a phantom pregnancy, in my opinion, it would have to go past the first trimester. Because there's so much that can happen in the first trimester that can possibly get in the way of confirming whether or not a baby is in fact in the uterus, because it's so small. So after you are past into the second trimester is when, and you are continue to falsely believe that you are pregnant, is when you can say, I had a phantom pregnancy. In my experience, I thought I was about 18 to 20 weeks pregnant at the time that I received my negative ultrasound and found out that I was not pregnant. And so I consider myself having a phantom pregnancy because it went into the second trimester. It went past 12 weeks of gestation, what I thought was 12 weeks gestation. And so yes, I think that would be, you know, if you go past the first trimester and you go into the second trimester, continuing to falsely believe that you are pregnant when you aren't, then you can say I had a phantom pregnancy. But even if you got to like, say, 11 weeks and then you realize, at that point, I would probably just call it a delusion of pregnancy because they were just thoughts. It's when like a doctor tells you that you're negative, your ultrasound is negative, that you say that they are a liar or you don't believe them, and then make up reasons why you don't believe them or why they would be lying and not wanting to confirm your pregnancy, and continue to believe that you are pregnant. That's when I think, in my personal opinion, that phantom pregnancy and delusion of pregnancy kind of come together and meet. But like I said, that's just my opinion. Let's go to the third question. Well, be careful. Sorry. Do you think there is always an underlying desire for a baby, even hidden, when one has a phantom pregnancy? And this is also a very, very interesting question as well. Even if somebody is saying, I don't want to have a baby, I didn't have any desire to have a baby when I started having these symptoms. As a woman, it's really, really hard to decipher whether or not that particular woman is being truthful in her saying that she had no desire for a baby. Mostly because a lot of people think that women always desire to have babies. And I myself go back and forth. 1 month I'll have baby fever like crazy. And then the next like couple, 3, 4, 5 months, I'll be like, oh man, I'm so overwhelmed. I couldn't even possibly contemplate thinking about adding a third to the family. I feel like I'm like up to here with things to do. And then I'll go back to, oh, baby fever. Oh, it would be so cute. And that lasts for about a month. And then I, you know, that goes away. And then I'll go through like 3 months of like, oh my God, I am so overwhelmed. So it's very hard to answer that question. Because do I think there is always an underlying desire for a baby? If I were going through a month of baby fever, like I know I have had in the past, then during that time, it might possibly come from desire of wanting a baby. And then the next couple of months, a possible phantom pregnancy might come up because I'm scared, because I feel so overwhelmed that I have 2 boys that I'm constantly, so you does that make sense? I hope that made sense. Again, I go back and forth. 1 month I have baby fever, and then I'll go through 3 or 4 months of fear of pregnancy, and then I'll go through another month of baby fever, and then I'll go to 3 or 4 months of fear of pregnancy. So at any given moment, during any of those months, a phantom pregnancy could develop from my fear of pregnancy or from my baby fever / desire of possibly, you know, wanting a baby. Or the thoughts or emotions of adding an additional child to the family. Yes, 1 second. So I guess the short version in answering question number 3, do you think there is always an underlying desire for a baby, even hidden, when one has a phantom pregnancy? I guess the short answer would be yes. It's either the desire to add a baby, or the desire to not have a baby. It all depends. I really hope this explanation made sense. Using my own personal life, I don't really know exactly what's going through the minds of some other women in them developing their phantom pregnancy. I know that phantom pregnancy can stem from fertility issues or problems with the reproductive system or reproductive health. So phantom pregnancies are pretty common in the trying to conceive community, although a lot of the women do not talk about it or think about it that way. They mostly because of the time frame or the time span that they experience it. Like when I answered question 2, most women don't consider themselves to have experienced a phantom pregnancy until it lasts, 12 weeks or more. Before that, they will either assume that they had a miscarriage, they will assume that they had a blunted ovum, something was wrong with the baby, they possibly lost the baby, there was a genetic abnormality, and they won't even consider the possibility that they actually experienced a phantom pregnancy and nothing more. So it's really hard to know specifics about phantom pregnancy. I can only answer these questions from my own experience and having firsthand experience with it. So, I really hope this made sense. If it didn't, please leave your questions and comments in the section below so that I can possibly clarify anything that doesn't make sense to you. But yeah, that's all for right now. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, so I looked back at those clips and I did not realize how long they really were. So I'm going to wrap up this video. But make sure you stay tuned because I'm going to put out another video tomorrow, or at least I plan to. Let's see how the weekend goes. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Please enjoy yourself. Get out there, have some fun, enjoy the summer while it's still a little bit warm because it's going to get cold here soon, guys. So be well, be happy, be healthy, have fun, and stay blessed. Bye.